If you know that you're struggling with keeping your eyes open whenever it's time for you to pray to God, if you know that you find prayer so hard to do that you can't even pray for 30 minutes or for an hour, or is your desire to pray more than 15 minutes or 10 minutes, then I recommend you watch this video. One of the things about praying for a long period of time is that you have to lay the foundation. And for you to lay the foundation, you have to see God right. For you to see God right, you have to see God as a friend. Because if you go into prayer with a tired mindset, you just want to go and then come out, that's you've already made up your mind unconsciously to just, go into the prayer and then pray as long as you can, and then that's it, you are done. But if you see prayer as communing with your friend, as having a conversation with your friend, you've already laid the foundation of how long you're going to stay in that place with God. So if you're going with a tired mindset, obviously you're not going to last long because you're just tired. You've made up your mind unconsciously to just enter into the prayer without staying for a long while. But if you see God as a friend, as you have to tell your friend about everything that went on about your day, the activities that you did, the things that burdened your heart, the things you couldn't even tolerate from the people around you, then it's very easier for you to stay there for a very long while just talking to the person. Now, that is how prayer works. So you have to see God as a friend for you to be able to stay for a very long time in the place of prayer. Now, this is the foundation for prayer and the mindset. I struggled with prayer personally for a very long while. Even now, I'm still struggling with prayer sometimes. But there was something that God revealed to me concerning prayer, that first, before I start praying, I should understand that He's already there waiting for me. So it's not really about me, it's about Him. The second thing that God revealed to me concerning prayer was, instead of laying down or kneeling down while praying, I should rather stand. And when I did that for a very long time, and I realized that the next time I wanted to kneel down or lay down to pray, I became very uncomfortable because it has already become a part of me to stand up while praying. So maybe if you want to pray, instead of laying down to pray or instead of kneeling down to pray, because even while you are kneeling, you can just lean on something and then you just sleep off or you just become very tired. Stand. Even when you feel tired, stand. You realize that even as you continue praying, then you start having strength and you start gaining strength, and then you just start going deeper and deeper. Because whenever you're praying, grace is extended to you for you to stay for a very long while, because it's not about you, it's about God. And God always wants you to stay in His presence for as long as you can. Now, the third thing about prayer is that when you want to pray, you ask the Holy Spirit for the grace to stay longer. Don't forget that the flesh is against the spirit and the spirit is against the flesh. Now, there has been times where I want to pray and I'm very tired. I'll just lay on my bed and I'll start praising God. And from doing that, I'll just have strength and I'll stand up, start praying. And you just know that that strength comes from God, because a minute ago you were very tired to pray, right? So you know that He wants you in His presence more than you want to be in His presence. So you have to ask Him for the grace to stay longer, to pray longer, to stay in His presence as much as you can. The fourth thing about prayer is I have to remove distractions and you have to set alarms. Now, if you are easily distracted, just carry each and every one of your devices and just put them in another room, or better still, just put your phone on silence so that you are more focused on God rather than what's going on around you. Now, for you to start praying, you have to set an alarm for you to indicate this is time for you to start praying and this is time for you to stop praying. If you want to pray for 30 minutes, set an alarm for 30 minutes. If you want to pray for an hour, set an alarm for an hour. And this is going to help you keep your mind focused on prayer rather than any other thing. The last thing about prayer, and this is where a lot of us make mistake, is that you rush into it. You're not meant to be rushing into prayer, rather you're meant to slowly slide into prayer. Yes, I use your word. You're meant to start small. You're not meant to rush into prayer because you're using your energy and you need that energy to stay as long as you can in the place of prayer. Now, if you want to start any prayer, you start small, you start slowly, you do not just rush into it. So that is why I always tell people, if you want to pray to God, you start with conversation. Talk to Him as a friend. Will tell Him about your day, tell Him about everything that went on in your day. Just talk to Him as a friend. How you talk to your best friend. Just talk to God like that. So as you progress into it, by then you have energy. You just realize that you have energy, and then you start praying. You start praying in tongues. You start worshiping. You start praising. Anyhow, it just goes for you. So don't rush into prayer. Rather start small, and also start with conversation. And when you are finally done with prayer, this is the last one. When you are done with prayer, get a pen and a book and just sit in silence. And whatever it is that comes to your mind, just write it down. It doesn't matter if it came from God or not. Whatever it is that comes to your mind, just note it down, and you can just take it to God later. Or you just realize that, this was God speaking to me. Just that. So just get a pen and a sheet of paper and a pen, and then just write down anything that comes to your mind. I hope this really blessed you, and I hope this helps you. Bye. See you in my next video.